Worst officers, public servants I've ever come across in my life, Governor Kathy Hochul. She said not that very long ago that Black people don't know what a computer looks like. It's very shocking to me that these radical woke left liberals. It's Friday, by the way, y'all. Woo! It's Friday. If you're happy that it's Friday, give me a yeah in the comments. So she's one of the worst public servants I've ever come across. I really don't understand how. Rumble in the house. Yes, I am live on Rumble. Good to see you, Wayne, on Rumble. I don't know how. There she is. There's Patty. Good to see you. Yeah, exactly. Let me know in the comments what you think of Governor Kathy Hochul. She said Black people don't understand. They don't know what Black kids don't know what computers look like. And then Tombstone Biden, our vegetable in chief. Give me a VIC in the comment. Capital VIC for vegetable in chief. Says, well, if you don't vote for me, and you call yourself Black, then you ain't Black. If you vote for me and you call yourself Black, you ain't Black if you don't vote for me. He literally said, I don't know how these guys keep getting away with this time and time again. How do they keep getting away with this? And then they still somehow, they don't get canceled. They don't get impeached. They don't get fired. They don't get, they're not forced to resign. They just get away with blatant racism over and over and over again. Listen to what now she says about fellow citizens in the Bronx. Check this out.
I'll tell you, it won't make a difference at all, Jake, and that is for Donald Trump to be the ringleader of and invite all his clowns to a place like the Bronx. New York will never, ever support Donald Trump for president. We know him better than anyone, and that means we understand what he's all about is just for himself. So this state will go solidly behind Joe Biden for president, as it has in the past. So he wants to spend his time doing these made-up fake rallies and pretending their support here. Be my guest, because while you're doing that, Donald Trump, Joe Biden's out there on the other side, making sure he's delivering for all Americans. And so go ahead, spend all your time you want in New York, because we'll be with Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's out there winning over the rest of the battleground states.
Which is actually not true at all. It's just not true at all. It's absolutely not true at all. So she says, first of all, I just have to say this. I know these people. I know them through and through. Okay. A lot of you guys might not know this, but I'm in the private sector. I've been running businesses for 30 years. I love America. The reason why I'm doing this channel, I'm not making any money on this channel. I literally, love my country more than anything. And I'm sick and tired of watching its deterioration right before my eyes. I used to work in the public sector. I have taught the principles of rhetoric, Aristotle's principles of rhetoric, and business communications for over 20 years. I know these people. Kathy Hochul, Kami Kamala, Shifty Weaselly Schiff, pushing up daisies Pelosi. I know these people through and through. They are swine, rotten to the core. They are chock full of hypocrisy, lies, and rot gut. And I'm sick and tired of this hypocrisy. I'm sick and tired of the lies. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about America. Obviously, waving Ukrainian flags in the hallowed halls of Congress. They don't give a rat's ass about anybody but themselves. And she literally goes on national television with fake Tapper. I love Trump. How do you not love Trump? If you love Trump, give me a yeah in the comments right now. How do you not love this guy? Oh, I want to show you this too. You got to see this awesome dance he does. Oh my God, this dance he does just absolutely blows my mind. How do you not love this guy? Like, how in the world do you not love this guy? This guy's just absolutely phenomenal. I freaking love this guy so much. So check this out. I want to show you this. This is so good. So he's on stage right when he gets on stage. Listen, watch this. Watch this. This is so good. Watch this right here. Oh my God. How do you not love this guy? Look at that. I love it. Look at that. You will never see Vegetable in Chief Tombstone Biden move like that. You will never see that.
Funded starting.
Oh my God, I absolutely love it. I just absolutely love it. You will never, ever, ever see Tombstone Biden walk like that, talk like that, move like that, that kind of coherence. And again, a reason why I'm going to get into the speech right now. The reason why I think this is one of the greatest, not just Trump rally, it's one of the greatest rallies and speeches I've ever seen politically in the political landscape. But absolutely, Sassafras, it's so good to see you. I love our members here, Jan, Cott, Robert. It's so good to see you guys. Captain Mike, our ultimate mod. Trump has more moves than X-Lax. That's right. That's right, Patty. Patty says he's a hip-hop president. Oh, wait till you see some of the speakers. Not only is this one of the greatest Trump rallies, it's one of the greatest speeches. It is highly, highly indicative and highly, highly representative of the disparity between Vegetable in Chief and our guy here, the guy who can actually take our country to the next level, the guy who can actually bring greatness back to the United States of America. Listen and watch the difference. Let's get into it right now. I love it. I told my members this. I was this close to just doing a highlight video, but when I watched this speech again, I've seen this speech like 3 times already. I can't wait to watch it with you guys on Friday. Yeah. This is just so much fun. And it's just such a powerful speech. Check it out. Let's have fun, guys. Here we go.
It's going to be done and funded starting on January 20th, directly from our great and beautiful White House. Is that okay? For my whole life, I always thought that this city is a monumental testament to the power of the American spirit and the American dream. When New York started as a small, rugged Dutch trading post near the tip of Manhattan in 1624, what you see around you is nothing more than wilderness and marsh. But by the muscle and backbone and genius of the people of New York, we built the city into the towering forest of iron, aluminum, concrete, and steel. We made this city and state into the capital of global commerce. We turned our hometown into the bustling center of a confident, glamorous American culture, and we inspired the entire world. We inspired the world. No matter where you went on this planet, everyone knew that when you said, "I'm a New Yorker," it meant you had smarts, you had grit, you had energy, and above all else, you had heart. You had heart. Big, big, beautiful heart. Everybody wanted to be here. New York was where you came to make it big. You want to make it big, you had to be in New York. But sadly,
I defy anybody here. Let me know in the comments. When have you ever seen this kind of energy, this kind of power, this kind of vigor at a Tombstone Biden rally? I mean, he can't even fill a public restroom, let alone a deep, deep blue district like the Bronx, a deep, deep blue state like New York, and tens of thousands. 81 million votes, my ass.
this is now a city in decline. Throughout my life, I've seen New York through good times and bad, through boom times and crime waves, through market crashes and terrorist attacks, but I've never seen it quite like this. We have filthy encampments of drugged out homeless people living in our places that we've spent so much time with children where they used to play. We have lunatics killing innocent bystanders by pushing them onto the railroad tracks for sport. Our it's a sad thing. Don't worry. It gets positive. Don't worry.
I love it.
It gets so positive. Remember, we're going to win. We're all winners. We're going to win so big. We're going to make it bigger and better than ever before. Remember that.
I love it. How do you not love this guy?
So don't worry. By the time the other 6,000 or 7,000 people get in, it'll be very positive. Our subways are squalid and unsafe. The ceiling tiles are falling down, and they look worse than a third world country. The medians of our highways are crumbling. Our
He just makes me smile. He makes me happy. Why? Because I love my country. He makes me feel like he cares about America.
Desperately are in need of help. And we have mobs of migrants fighting our police officers.
Let me know in the comments if you feel the same way.
Finger. But we are not going to let this continue. We are not going to abandon our hope and our pride. This city has given us so much, and now it is time that we are going to give it back. Together, we are going to make New York City great again, and simultaneously, we are going to make America great again.
Hello. Yeah.
Thank you. I have come tonight to talk about solving problems. The simple fact is Joe Biden is not getting the job done for the Bronx. He's not getting the job done for New York, and he's not getting the job done for America. He is incompetent, ladies and gentlemen. He is grossly incompetent. I will get the job done as I did for 4 years, and I will get it done fast. And remember this, if a New Yorker can't save this country, no one can.
Hello.
No one can. Get me the snake.
So
please.
true.
The snake.
He looks good, too. His hair looks good. His skin looks good. He's just full of energy.
Thank you, everybody. What a crowd. This is something. You know, we wanted to keep it small because who knew? This is like a love fest. Love fest. It's a love fest. We love you. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Wow.
We love Trump. We love Trump.
Who said we're not going to win New York? We're going to win New York so much. You know, if we win New York, we win the whole thing. Wouldn't it be nice?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be nice?
It's
We
going to
take
be a
back our
landslide.
country and we'll do a job like nobody's ever done before. And what we did for 4 years was incredible, but we also learned a lot. We're going to get in there very fast with the right people, great people, people that are tested and true. Years ago, there was an ice skating rink, the Wollman Rink in the middle of Central Park. You know that story? That had been under construction for more than 10 years. They couldn't get it open. It was a renovation. They couldn't get it done. Mayor Koch was at his wits' ends. They just couldn't get it finished. They couldn't get it built. They couldn't get it open. People wanted to skate before their children turned old. Almost $20 million was spent over a long period of time. It was an embarrassment to the city. Every day they'd be laying the copper pipe, and every night that same pipe would be stolen. And then they'd start all over again the next day, and it would be stolen. This went on weeks and weeks and months and months. They poured the concrete in small patches in wrong directions and at different heights. And they took their advice from a refrigerator company from Miami, where it's 95 degrees out. It was a total mess. They just didn't know what they were doing. And I saw this, and I wanted my children to be able to ice skate before. They didn't care about ice skating. I looked down on the rink, and I said, what is going on? Years and years. So I volunteered, and I took over the project and did a good job. And when I took it over, I said that if it cost more than $2 million, I would pay for it, the entire amount. But it cost far less. The first thing I did was call the Montreal Canadiens hockey team in Canada, right? Isn't that better than a refrigerator company from Miami? They didn't know what we were talking about. But the Montreal Canadiens knew, and they were really nice. I'll never forget how nice they were. And they told me that you don't want to use copper tubing and gas because the gas is very delicate and it leaks. It's very fragile. It just doesn't work. You want to use rubber hose. I said, I like that. That's a lot cheaper. Water and salt. The salt makes it so the water doesn't freeze. It's called brine. And you're going to put that under the concrete. You're going to pour the concrete over the top. It's going to be great. It's going to work. Not going to leak. It's cheaper, faster, and it works all the time. And when we opened, there were no leaks. There were no problems whatsoever. Anyway, I started the project, laid the rubber hose, mixed the water and the salt.
You know, the left media is trying to say that he's showing signs of being older and he's showing signs of wear and tear. Let me know in the comments, do you see any sign? I mean, Biden couldn't go a minute without slurring, stumbling, mumbling, fumbling. Do you sense there's any decline in his mental cognition? Let me know in the comments.
That O'Brien, he's a good man. He endorses Trump. I think he's going to, actually. But the Teamsters, it stretched all the way. You had trucks stretching all the way from the Wollman Rink, which was, let's say, at 60th Street, all the way back to Harlem. One contiguous pour. It was a day and a half of pouring concrete. One contiguous, a giant surface. As you know, the rink was completed in just 3 months for far less than the $2 million projected. The biggest expense was actually the demolition. That is the demolishing of everything that was built so incorrectly, so badly over a 10-year period. The biggest cost was demolition, taking it all down and starting all over. We opened with a ceremony with all Olympic gold medal winners, including the great Peggy Fleming, Dorothy Hamill, Scott Hamilton, and all of the others. Every one of them was there. It was a beautiful night, beautiful weather. I'll never forget the evening. It was one of the most beautiful. My parents were there. Now they're looking down on us. They say, wow, that's my son. Can you imagine? That's my son.
I love it. How do you not love this guy? I love it.
Can you imagine? He's being tried in a court with a crooked judge. Can you believe this? Can you believe it? And highly conflicted judge at that. But everybody was there, and it was really something to behold. It was an incredible experience.
How do you not love this guy?
One of the great experiences of my life in New York. We opened it. It's been successful, and successful ever since. What a great, great experience. It was beautiful. And, you know, a lot of it's common sense. You'd like to say the Republican Party is the party of common sense. You don't go to Miami when you want to make ice. You go to Canada when you want to make ice, right? Or you could go right down the road in the Bronx to Ferry Point, right? Everybody know about Ferry Point. It was another disaster, a development where the city had spent over 29 years, almost $300 million trying to develop it into a luxury golf resort, anything. They'll take anything. They were spending money. You know, trucks were going here, dumping, getting filled up, moving it here, dumping, getting filled up with the same stuff. This went on for years, back and forth, the same stuff. They were feather bedding. They were doing lots of bad things. But really, they didn't know how to get it done. They had no idea how much money they were spending. And when asked how much they spent, they said, we just don't know. That's been going on for years, decades.
He speaks for over an hour and a half, doesn't get one glass of water, barely misses a breath. And who's on the other side? Stumbling, mumbling, fumbling VIC, vegetable in chief.
Now, Michael Bloomberg was the mayor, and he called me. He said, I have to get this done before I finish my term. It was very important to him. He was embarrassed by it. Everybody was embarrassed. It was Mayor Koch. It went through a lot of different mayors. Almost 30 years, remember that. And he said, in all fairness, he said, I want to get this done, and you're the one that can do it. You're the only one that can do it. And I said, and I will do it. I will get it done. And we got it done before he finished his term, which was great. But there were no other bidders to my knowledge. And I took over the project, spending only my money to build it. And I called all of the contractors together. These were tough people. These were tough, hard people. Many of you are probably contractors on that site. Come to that. And I said, look, fellas, you guys have made a fortune on this thing for years and years against the city. It's time we get together and build it. Let's get it built. Let's do it right. And let's get the hell out of here. We owe it to the city And they worked so hard, the roughest, toughest contractors in New York. They had spirit like you've never seen before. And it was magnificently designed by the great Jack Nicklaus, who told me, I don't want to make any more money. They paid me enough. Everybody get paid a fortune. Jack said, I don't want money. I just want to see it get built for the people of New York. And that's what we did. But everybody, just like Jack, they said very similar things. These guys were rough and tough, and they made a lot of money, but you'd think they'd want to make more, but they didn't. They just wanted to get it built. And in just a little more than a year, so this was going on for 30 years, including, think of it, just a magnificent thing to watch. You had to watch these people working, just the opposite of what took place for the first 29 years. But we had a magnificent world-class golf course that many of you have played now, and it's rated as one of the best public courses in the country. And then a short while later, we built a beautiful clubhouse, one of the prettiest I've seen, built it, completed. The project was absolutely beautiful. It opened to great fanfare. And
hey, by the way, guys,
success.
Trump came, he arrived in New York at 2 a.m.
Should I go off teleprompter?
Oh, here we go. This is so good. Wait, hold on. This is so good. Hold on.
They said very similar things. These guys were rough and tough, and they made a lot of money, but you'd think they'd want to make more, but they didn't. They just wanted to get it built.
Sorry, this is good.
And in just a little more than a year, so this was going on for 30 years, including,
should I go off teleprompter?
Just a magnificent thing to watch. You had to watch these people working, just the opposite of what took place for the first 29 years. But we had a magnificent world-class golf course that many of you have played now, and it's rated as one of the best public courses in the country. And then a short while later, we built a beautiful clubhouse, one of the prettiest I've seen, built it, completed. The project was absolutely beautiful. It opened to great fanfare and great success. And do you want to hear the end result, though? Should I? Should I go off teleprompter and tell you the end result?
Love it.
You think Biden goes off teleprompter?
No
I don't
way.
think so.
No way.
He's no good on teleprompter. No, but okay, so I did this beautiful job.
How do you not love this guy? Really quickly. So this guy just got to New York at 2 a.m. in the morning, coming off two huge rallies in Dallas and in Houston. 2 a.m. in the morning. He then goes to this rally later that evening in New York, and he does not skip a beat. Does this guy love his country, or does this guy love his country? God, he's amazing.
And then we had a dispute over January 6th. We had a dispute. And they said, January 6th, we want to terminate his agreement with the city, had a long-term agreement with the city. And they sent me a notice of termination. I said, wait a minute. I just spent $25 million building it, built this magnificent clubhouse. It's in full operation. It took you 29 years. You were spending hundreds of millions of dollars. You couldn't get it done. And the neighborhood came to court totally for me. The Bronx neighborhood. It's in the Bronx. It's on the East River in the Bronx. And we went to court. The city sued to break my agreement that they had just made. And I had done such a great job for them. And it was accolades everywhere. Golf Magazine, all of the big magazines were saying, what a great job. They terminated my agreement, and I went to court. And I will tell you, I had a very good experience. We had a Supreme Court justice named Deborah James. And I have to give her credit. I didn't know her, never met her. Deborah James, a African-American woman who came to my defense. We explained it, and the city explained it. They said, we want to terminate it. They had no reason. And we said what we just said. And she looked at them, and she said, in effect, how dare you? This man came in. He put up his own money. He did an incredible job. You were building it for 29 years. How dare you ask for this to be terminated? How unfair is that? Deborah James, a great Supreme Court justice. That's all I can tell you. And we won the case. But it's not easy doing business in New York, I'll tell you. Not easy. So I just appreciated that. I had to tell that story. And as you know, then I renovated Grand Central Terminal. I built the Grand Hyatt Hotel on 42nd Street and Park Avenue. And as part of that, I renovated the beautiful Grand Central Terminal, did a really good job on that. And then I was very much responsible for the construction of the Jacob Javits Convention Center, where Hillary Clinton was going to have her big evening. That was not good. Remember? We had the glass ceiling. You know, we built glass ceiling. She said, we're going to break the glass ceiling. It didn't work out.
It didn't work out. Trump. How do you not love this guy?
You know, I'll tell you a little secret that I don't think I've ever... I hated the concept. I said we have to get on with our country. We have to win against Russia. We have to win against China, North Korea, all the different countries we're at loggerheads with. But as long as you have a smart president, you're going to win those battles. We're winning all those battles, even with the fake Russia scam, which made it harder. But you hated that. And then you see what they want to do to us, to me, to us. And they come along and they don't mind because Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of our country, has no sense, doesn't know what he's doing, grossly incompetent, and our country is going to hell, but we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast.
Yes.
Because above all else, and I say this, and I believe this on New York, is you are different. You do know that. You know that when I called for this rally, we said, let's just have a meeting. Don't call it a rally. And so many people showed up. I said, like it or not, this is a rally. This is, as far as the eye can see, you have to see the lines outside. They're going for miles.
Huge.
But when we saw it and we saw the love, because I called up this morning, do the people like me or do they hate me? They said, they don't like you, sir. They love you.
Woo!
I said, oh, thank you.
That's right. That's right.
So I appreciate it. And I love you too.
Happy Friday, y'all. God, this is fun.
But above all else,
we're getting our country back in November. We are getting our country back. Trump. We love Trump. We love Trump.
Boy, look at all the cameras back there. That's amazing.
Fake news.
That's the fake news. Yeah. You know, they'll say tonight, Donald Trump spoke to a very small crowd of people in the Bronx. It was a very hostile crowd, very hostile. They hated him very much. No, sometimes they're okay. You know, I agreed to do a debate with Crooked Joe Biden.
Crooked.
On CNN with Fake Tapper. And I think they'll be fair. Does anybody think they'll be fair? I might be.
No. They're not going to be
That's
fair.
all
No
right.
way.
When they said, here's your story, you can have a debate on CNN with Fake Tapper as the primary host. And I said, I'll do it. Because you know what they thought is you'd say CNN and they'd say various people on the show, various anchors, and, you know, headed up by Fake Tapper. And they thought I was going to reject it. I don't want to do it. Then Biden would say, I offered to debate, but he wouldn't do it. So they said, we want to have a debate. I'll take it. But we haven't even told you what the debate is all about. Then they said, today, they said, we'd like to set up tables so you sit down. I said, I don't want to sit down for a debate. Let's go. At some point, so we're not sitting down. We're going to be standing up for the debate. And here's what you know.
Here's what you know.
If Crooked Joe Biden makes it through the debate, which I think he will, they're going to say it was one of the great debate performances in history.
Oh, yeah.
One of the greatest debate performances. But there they are. And we're on every network tonight. Woo! I don't know what's going on.
Let's get our country back.
We're on Fox. We're on
VIC, Vegetable
We're
and
on
Cheese.
all of them. So have a lot of fun, but we're on all of them. So they understood. They understood before anyone how big this would be. And you got to see what's back there coming in. Thank you. Thank you. But above all, New Yorkers have something called common sense. And we do have common sense. An old-fashioned American common sense is exactly what I intend to bring back to the White House, just like we had for 4 years. You know, we had 4 of the greatest years in the history of our country. We rebuilt the military, we cut taxes, the biggest tax cut in history, the biggest regulation cut in history. We defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS, and we did it in about 1/100th the time. They said it would take 4 to 5 years. It took me like 2 months, right? Because we have an incredible military, and we're not allowed to show. They had Afghanistan, the worst pullout, the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. It's probably the reason, a piece of it, why Russia went into Ukraine. They said, these people are incompetent, we'll go in. So Russia going into Ukraine would have never happened. None of this stuff that you see would have happened. Israel would have never happened, the attack on October 7th. And you wouldn't have had inflation. As soon as I get back into the Oval Office, I am going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call your mayor and your governor, and I'm going to say, this is President Trump, and I want to come back and help. Look, you have a Democrat governor, you have a Democrat mayor, and we are going to work with them, and we're going to get this state and this city at a level that it's never seen before, frankly.
Yes.
I think we can do that, too. We're going to be helping them a lot, much more than anybody would expect. It doesn't matter whether they're Democrats or Republicans, because this is about our city and our country, and it's really about the people. And in this case, the people of New York City, New York State. We're going to make you very, very happy. And Biden can't do it. He doesn't know he's alive. You know, see all the stairs here? Stare, 2 of them behind me, 1 in the middle. When he's finished with his 2.5 minute, do you ever watch a speech? They last for about 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
When he's finished with his speech, he can never find the stairs. He can never find the stairs.
It's so true.
And when he does, it's not a pretty picture
It's
either.
very ugly.
Thank goodness for Secret Service. They come up and they guide them off. No, this is not what we need. When you see President Xi of China, when you see Kim Jong-un of North Korea, when you see
They're laughing at us.
Putin, and you see all of these people, they're at the top of their game,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And they can't believe that this has happened to the United States. We have lost respect all over the world. We were the most respected country in the world 4 years ago. We were respected more than our country was ever respected 4 years ago. And now we're being laughed at. We're like a joke. And that's not going to happen.
That's sad.
That's not going to happen.
Very
We're going
sad.
to do whatever it takes to fix our roads, bridges, and highways. We're going to take back our parks, not just for children, but for everybody.
That's what a lot of people don't understand, is that it's not just about, getting our country back. It's not just about getting the right person in the highest office in the land. This is about global perception too. The entire world is actually literally laughing at us, because we've got the worst excuse bag of bones in the Oval.
Subway infrastructure in the world. And we're going to make it by far the biggest, and now we're going to make it by far the best. We're going to make it beautiful again. And a lot of it is topical. The expensive work people don't understand because they're not in construction. It's topical work. It's topical. It's built. The expensive, the hard, the labor, the money, the big stuff is done. We're going to make it beautiful. We're going to make it good. And most importantly, we're going to let New York's finest do its job. The transit cops do their job. We're going to make it safe. Most importantly.
This defund the police crap. Law and order. Law and order.
And importantly, for the people that are before me today, we are going to make life in New York affordable again. It's gotten totally out of control.
We cannot have a society without law and order.
Out the door, I will rapidly rebuild the greatest economy, the history of the world. Look, we had the greatest economy in history. Everybody here, where you have a small business or if you had a job, you were getting more than you ever made. And we had no inflation. We had no 1.4%, considered none, considered better than none, because frankly, none in its own way is a bad thing also. We had a perfect number, 1.4%.
I mean, he's so coherent. There's no stuttering. There's no slurring. Totally sober. There's no evidence that he's taking any substances. No jitteriness. He is just straight fire. I love this man. Come on. Woo! It's Friday, yo. Let's get our country back.
We all want better opportunity. I'm not just going to promise it. I'm going to deliver it.
I mean, do you get pumped up after listening to Tombstone Biden talk? Let me know in the comments if you've ever been like, wow, I'm inspired by Joe.
And we had great people. Look at what we did with economic development, with the rebuilding of our military, with the tax cuts, we had great people. But we also had some people that I wouldn't have used if I had my choice. Now I know everybody. I know the smart ones. I know the dumb ones. I know the killers. I know the weak ones. I know them all. And you're going to see.
He's going to get them.
But everyone was better off. We had the greatest economy in history. Everybody was better off under a man named President Donald J. Trump. Have you ever heard of him? Have you heard of him?
Everybody.
We had gasoline down to $1.87 a gallon, and actually times when it was much lower than that. We had a record low poverty rate for Black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We had the best poverty rate in terms of the positive number ever in our history for Black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We lifted 6.6 million people out of poverty. Nothing like that has ever happened in our country. And the real middle class income rose over $6,000 a year. Think of that. Under Biden, it's a disaster. Real middle class income has fallen over $2,000 a year. That's a lot. That's a difference of $8,000. Real earnings for African Americans are down 5.6%. African Americans are getting slaughtered. Hispanic Americans are getting slaughtered. And these millions and millions of people that are coming into our country, the biggest impact and the biggest negative impact is against our Black population and our Hispanic population, who are losing their jobs, losing their housing, losing everything they can lose. They're the ones that are affected most by what's happening. Not only the fact that you've lost the use of your schools, your parks, and your hospitals. Joe Biden's inflation.
The wall. Build the wall.
Do they have that?
Finish the wall.
Do they have it? Speaking of the wall, so we built much more wall than we built 571 miles of wall. We had the safest border in history. We were going to put up within a period of 3 weeks. It was all built, laying there, ready to be put up, designed by the Border Patrol, who are incredible people, ICE, who are incredible people, all together. I wanted to put up concrete plank for the contractors here. They didn't want it. They had to have hardened steel. They wanted 6,000, 7,000 pound concrete. They wanted rebar in the middle. They wanted different materials, harder to cut. So we had very hard steel, very good stuff. Everything was good. We had the panel on top. It was called an anti-climb panel. We had the best wall, and it was going to be, we're going to add 200 miles of wall. It would have taken about 3 weeks. And then we had the rigged election. And you know what happened after the rigged election? They took the wall, and instead of putting it up, they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. And I said, these people really do want to have an open border.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened to our country. Our country has gone to hell because of it. It's gone to hell.
Yeah. And he could do an executive order.
I want to thank Mexico. I want to thank, because I went to Mexico.
Biden could issue an executive order and close that thing like
we really have no choice. He said, send him back. There's a chance, send him back. Nobody wants to send anybody back, but you have no choice. This is not sustainable by any country, right? This is not sustainable.
It's an invasion.
But we had Mexico, and we went to Mexico, and I said to the president of Mexico, good man, by the way, a very good guy, happens to be a socialist, but these are minor details. I said to him, Mr. President, we need you to give us 28,000 soldiers to guard the wall. He said, well, how much would you pay for that? I said, nothing. I'm not paying anything. You're sending them in. They're coming in caravans. You have to do it. And he smiled and he laughed. He thought it was funny. He thought it was like, I was kidding. I said, no. They're coming in through Mexico. We need 28,000 soldiers, free of charge.
Free of charge.
And he said, Donald, I cannot do that. I said, here's what you do. I don't want to embarrass you, so I'm not going to negotiate with you. Send me a negotiator. Give me a top negotiator. I want to see him. And he came to the White House, a very handsome man.
Handsome.
dressed in one of the most beautiful suits I've ever seen. In fact, I was going to ask him, who is your tailor? I'd like to buy one of those suits, but I didn't think it was appropriate to start the negotiation that way. And I said, you know that you're going to give us 28,000 soldiers, don't you? No, 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 we are not going to. We will never do that. I said, of course you're going to. 100%. He said, we're not going to. He said, no way. I said, way. You're going to give it. I said 100%. And you're also going to have a new policy. It's called Remain in Mexico. Nobody can come into our country until they're free. And then you're going to have catch and release into Mexico. You know, we have catch and release into our country. Even if they're criminals, we catch them, we check them, we see they're a criminal, we release them, we say, come back 5 years later, you'll have a court case. Nobody ever comes back. So I said to the State Department, and a wonderful woman, but a bad negotiator, I said to the State Department, give me a top 10, give me a top 10 list. Give me a top 10 things. I said to ICE and Border Patrol, give me a top 10. They gave me a top 10 list. And a lot of it had to do with all of the horrible disease that pours through. People that have highly contagious diseases are coming into our country at levels that we've never seen before. So many other things. And they gave me a top 10 list, but they laughed. They said, sir, they'll never do. We've been trying to get this stuff for 25 years. I said, if I were a betting man, I would bet you any amount of money. You'll have it very quickly. So this man comes in. I said, we want a policy, remain in Mexico, Tijuana. Hundreds of probably the fastest growing city in the world for a period of a year. That place was loaded up with people. They weren't allowed into our country. And we had already built a lot of the wall, a tremendous amount, 571 miles. Without that, we couldn't have ever done this. And he said that we're not going to do it, sir. I said, you are going to do it. He said, we're not. I said, here's the story. I'm not going to mess around with you. I have to go. I have a very important meeting, much more important than this. I said, here's the story. You're either going to do it. It's Friday evening. Or on Monday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, we are going to put a 25% tariff on everything that Mexico sends into our country. And then 1 month later, if you don't do it, we're going to put a 50%. Then we're going to go 75. And because I'm a nice person, we're going to stop at a 100% tariff. And here's the, and I had it literally written. I'm saying, should I sign it or not? Am I going to waste the ink or not? Because I'll sign it right now. On Monday morning at 7 o'clock, you're going to pay up to a $100 tariff. He said, sure, I'd like to make a phone call. I said, I wonder who you're going to call. Let me guess, you're going to call the president. He comes back 3 minutes later. Sir, it would be our great honor to give you 28,000 soldiers free of charge. It would be our great honor to have a policy of remain in Mexico. Anyway, we got all 10 things. It took about like 10 minutes. It was not... And now the other day, did you see? Mexico said to crooked Joe Biden, we want $20 billion a year just for the privilege of negotiating with you. We want you to pay us. Did you see that? It was a little article. You hardly... There's a slight difference. Would you say? He would have never asked that. He would have never asked it. Yeah. So he said they want 20 billion. 20 billion, not 20 million's a lot. They want 20 with a B, $20 billion a year, just for the privilege of negotiating with Mexico. And you would never get the things that they gave up, remain in Mexico. They gave up catch and release in Mexico. They gave up they gave up everything. They gave up everything. They did. They did give up the Constitution. Joe Biden, his inflation has cost the average New York household a staggering $24,000. Think of that, because the costs have gone up so much. Bacon has gone. I don't eat bacon anymore. It's too expensive. It's true. It's gone up like 4 times. I said, what's with... Look at the Biden price hikes, very runaway inflation, the likes of which I don't think we've ever seen like it. And they're costing average New York families $1,000. The inflation, the Biden inflation tax, because it's a tax. On day one, we're going to throw out Bidenomics and going to replace it with MAGAnomics, like your hats. MAGAnomics.
MAGAnomics. I love it. MAGAnomics.
And I will give you lower taxes. We're going to cut it still lower. Remember, when I cut taxes, I gave you the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, bigger than the Reagan tax cuts. And you know what? The following year, we reported massive increases in revenue. So with lower taxes, we actually took in more money because it gave incentive for people to work. Lots of reasons. But I will give you low taxes, low inflation, low interest rates, rising wages, growing incomes, and fair trade for the American worker. And we will make energy affordable again by saying, drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby,
drill. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Your energy costs will come down within the first year by 50%. That's not bad. That's a hell of a promise. And it will, too.
And it will, too.
Drop that so quickly. Remember, it was his stupid energy policies that caused the inflation. Now, it's more than energy. Now everything's like on fire. The whole place is a mess. We will quickly return our nation to the path of prosperity, and we will bring our country back together through unparalleled success. Our country is going to be very successful, and people are going to come together. And I will tell you, a lot of people say, do you think you can ever get the sides together? And by the way, I have to say something. Our side is much bigger than their side.
Hello.
You see that? Much bigger. We're more quiet, much more quiet.
The silent
but
majority.
When we get
Nixon
going,
said that.
we're
The
much
silent
tougher,
majority.
right? Oh, we're much tougher.
We mind
but
our
it is
business.
much
We
bigger.
work. We have jobs.
But I saw it. We had the greatest economy in history, and I was getting calls from the other side. I call it the radical left, but left-leaning, to put it mildly, Democrats. Can we get together? Because everybody had the best they've ever had. African-American jobs were the best in history.
That's right.
Asian American, the best in history.
That's right.
Hispanic, the best in history. Women, people with a diploma, people without a diploma, people that went to the great Wharton School of Finance, MIT, Harvard. They were doing better, and the people that didn't have a high school diploma were having the best. Everybody was better. There wasn't one group, not one, that went down. And it was bringing our country together. So it can happen. And when they ask, because I get that question a lot, do you think the sides can ever get together?
Yes.
And I went through the experience, and we can get together. And then we had COVID come in, and we had to fight that battle. And we did a great, I've been recognized as having created a great economy and great military, defeating ISIS and all the things. We rebuilt the entire military, created Space Force, all those things. We never got the credit, and we had no wars. Thank you, sir. That's very nice. Remember Hillary Clinton used to point at me, he will create wars. No. They said his personality will create wars. I said, no, my personality is going to keep us out of wars. And I was right.
Exactly.
First president in 78 years that didn't start a war. We had no wars. None of these stupid wars. Such a shame. When you see all the people that died in these horrible wars in the Middle East and everything else, countries didn't want us, dropping bombs all over the place. Spent $9 trillion in the Middle East.
Unbelievable.
We bombed the hell out of the place.
What about us, Americans?
In the old days, to the victor belong the spoils. We don't do that. We bomb the hell out of everyone, then we come back home. It's so sick. It's so sick and so stupid. These people that led us are so stupid.
Yeah.
You want to use that as a last resort. You can solve these problems with a meeting or with a telephone call. Woo! You don't have to drop billions of dollars worth of bombs on people's heads. You don't have to.
No. It's called negotiation.
It's called peace through strength. It really is. There's no reason for it. What they did in the Middle East is so incredible. They bombed the hell out of the place,
and then they left.
But to the victor belong the spoils. We didn't do that. Now, in Iraq, years ago, I was a civilian, but I got a lot of publicity for whatever the hell reason. And I said, don't go into Iraq. Don't go into Iraq. Don't go into Iraq. But if you're going to go in, keep the oil. Well, they went in, and they didn't keep the oil. And Iraq now has $350 billion in cash from the oil. And Iran, by us destroying Iraq, the military of Iraq, for years they fought each other, and they were equal sizes, equal everything. They were equal military partners. And for 1,000 years under different names, they would fight, a religious thing. They'd fight. They'd go 5 feet left, 5 feet right, 5 feet left, 5 feet right. Somebody would say they have gas. Somebody would say they have nuclear. Then they'd rest for a few years, and they'd fight again. But we blew the hell out of one side, Iraq. So now Iraq is a subsidiary, essentially, of Iran. Congratulations for the geniuses that got us into that mess.
Unreal.
Because Iran essentially controls, and that was the other thing. When I was president, Iran was broke. They had no money. I said to China, if you buy, they bought a lot of oil. I said, if you buy anything, but if you buy oil from Iran, we are going to do something to you. What's that? You're not going to do any business in the United States. He said, well, that's the end of buying oil from Iran. Every country was told that. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for anything. Then Biden comes in and he takes all of the sanctions off.
Unreal.
And they go out, and now Iran has $223 billion. Congratulations.
Unreal.
And we're the only ones for 5 hostages. We just paid $6 billion.
Unreal.
And for electricity for Iraq, we just paid $10 billion. And think of it, Iraq has billions of dollars that we're paying for their electricity. So we were in a position, there was no terror, there was no threat, there was no nothing.
Peace.
And now Iran has become a big threat again.
And he said that when Obama made a deal with him 15 years ago.
And I tell you, I see a lot of flags from it, right out of Israel, right? That's right out of Israel.
Yeah.
But remember, I said it a month ago, and it's a terrible thing to say, but I believe it. Many of the hostages that you're waiting for, and everybody's waiting for, those hostages, many of them are dead. Many of them are dead. And it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing, but many of those hostages are dead. And that's why when you see these negotiations where Hamas is like not getting back, they're saying, man, we could make a good deal, but these people are no longer alive. When I saw the way they were treated, when I saw the way they were thrown into the cars and how horribly they were treated, there's no way that those hostages, and some will be alive, but many of those hostages are dead. It's a very serious, horrible thing. It would have never happened if the election weren't rigged. It would have never happened if I were your president. They would have never done it. Because we have so many young people here today, I want to talk about, just for a moment, about success. Do you remember I used to give talks on success before politics? Okay, that's enough. We're going to do it. I know you're on our side, but it's enough. We're going to get them home. It's a rough situation. But remember, we used to give talks on success for the learning annex and for others. And I used to do that before politics, and maybe it's one of the reasons I went in. But because, well, bringing our city back again, starts with getting the right leadership. It also involves men and women,
that's
just
true.
like you. But I talk a lot about success, and I get paid money to talk about success. I would have done it for nothing. But then because of politics, and if you take a look, because of politics, I stopped doing that. But I think we're in the Bronx. We have young people that aspire to success. And I just wanted to know, I'm so tired of politics. Can we devote 6 minutes to success? Okay. So, for all of you young people, I think it's, look, I've been through tremendous, I've had great success. I've had it in entertainment. I've had it in business. I've had it in politics. I ran for office. What office did you run for? President? How'd you do? I won. Actually, I won twice. We did much better the second time, so. We got millions more votes the second time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't compare to this time. There is so much more. We had tremendous enthusiasm when I don't call her Crooked Hillary anymore. I call her Beautiful Hillary because I took crooked and used it for Joe. I don't like using it for two people. But we had tremendous enthusiasm in 2016. We had unbelievable more enthusiasm in 2020 because we did such a good job. In fact, one of the big problems in 2016 was the wall. It was the border. I fixed it so good that I couldn't talk about it in 2020. I kept saying to my people, I want to talk about the wall. I want to talk about the great job I did on immigration. I stopped people from coming in. They said, sir, nobody cares. You already fixed it. I said, this is a terrible thing. You fix it, you can't talk about it. But let's talk about, for the young people, just to listen for a couple of minutes, because we've been talking about politics so long. I'm OD'd. You know what that means? I'm OD'd on politics. I'm OD'd on Trump. I turn on the television, Trump, 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 all different stories, Trump. They're driving us crazy.
Crazy. I love it.
So I believe in the expression. Did you ever hear this expression? The harder you work, the luckier you get. You know who said that? A great golfer named Gary Player.
Hello.
He was smaller than other golfers, but he worked harder than other golfers. And he ended up with the most career wins of any golfer. He ended up with 9 majors. And, you know, he was small in stature, but big right up here. But he made that say, it was the first time I ever heard about it. He said, it's a funny thing happens. The harder I work, the luckier I get. That was an athlete saying that. Amazing, right? It's the first time I heard it. Probably been said by others, but it's true. I can tell you, if you didn't work really hard, there is very little chance that I would be standing here right now. Another part of success is something I learned from my father. I had a wonderful father.
Yeah.
Wonderful parents. I'm lucky. You got to be lucky. Got to get great parents. If you're going to spend your life working really hard, you have to love it. You have to pick something that you really enjoy. Sometimes your parents will say, don't do that. But you got to a little bit, in that case, you got to follow your own way. You got to love it. Ideally, you're going to love something where there's a potential, because there are some things you love, but it's not going to do you so good. So ideally, fall in love with something that's good. Some people go into a business where it's a very hard business.
How do you not love this
If you
man?
can go into business, that's an easier business and do well. But I see it all the time. Somebody has every ingredient for success, smart, brilliant, everything's good. But they're in a business where you hit your head on the wall. It's a very tough business. Try finding something where it's a great business with a great future, and there are plenty of them out there. My father taught me about construction, but what I really
100%.
learned from him was that he worked 7 days a week because he really loved to do it. I mean, he would work on Sunday, he'd go to church in the morning, and then he'd go and work. And I know some people that don't believe in working on Sunday.
Well said,
you couldn't
Vernon.
keep him away from work. But he loved working, and he was happy. He was married for a long time. That's one thing I'm not going to top him on. He was married. He was married for a long time, decades and decades. I said, Pop, I'm not going to beat you on that one. Never going to beat you. But because his work made him happy, but he was happy when he worked, and he was successful, and he knew what he was doing. He'd build a house on one side of the street. Somebody else would build a house on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
And he'd build his house faster, better, cheaper, and he'd sell it for less money. The other guy would build the house for more money, take him longer, couldn't sell it. My father would go buy the house for less money than it cost him to build the first one, and he'd sell it. And you know, in the old days, a long time ago, his brother was a professor at MIT. My father worked, he was a little younger than my father. My father put him to school. He went to MIT, very brilliant guy, Professor John Trump, the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, 41 years, I believe. Dr. John Trump. My father used to tell me I used to go crazy. Your uncle was always getting degrees. I had to keep building for your uncle to get him through college. He was always up there getting degrees.
So
but he was
easy
at
to
MIT
listen to.
for
There's a
41
reason he's
years, a brilliant
successful.
guy. He used to talk to me
There's a
about
reason
nuclear
he's the
because he
best.
was a nuclear genius, along with a genius at about everything else. And he used to say that someday there'll be a time when a small package carried by hand can blow up an entire city. And I said, no way, Uncle John, that's never going to happen, Uncle John. Guess what? He was right a long time ago that he said it. But my father would price a house. And I'd say, how did you price in those days, Dad? He said, pricing was everything. He said, I'd sell a house for $3,999.99. And that 1 penny made the difference between selling it and not. 1 penny. If I made it $4,000, I wouldn't sell. But psychologically, $3,999.99. And he sold houses. And guys wouldn't sell them. But he used to tell me that 1 penny, sounds crazy, but it wasn't crazy. Psychologically, people thought they were buying it for $3,000, not $4,000. It's sort of like getting an 89 on a test in school, or a 90. A 90's an A. And an 89, 1 point, is a B+.
100%.
Another lesson: when times are tough, sometimes that's when you perform the best. You have to learn that about yourself. You have to learn it about yourself. Are you okay? Are you guys okay? Oh, okay, take your time, yeah? Take your time. Doctor, any doctor, please? Doctor in the house. Thank you. Are you okay? You take your time, darling.
See how aware he is? You see how aware he is? Stops in the middle of his story. Somebody in the crowd obviously is having some health issues.
So aware, so alert. And he cares. He actually cares. Take your time, darling. Look at that. He's aware of his terrain. He's perceptive. He's intelligent. He's cognizant. He's not a freaking watermelon head like the other guy. Yes. This moment is amazing, Rob. Such a sweetheart.
Take your time, Doc. We have time.
Take your time. We have time. Awesome.
Some people waited here for 2 days. It's tough. It's tough. Thank you.
Good for you. Good for you. Thank you, Don.
Plenty of time.
The best.
That's good. Water.
Yeah, it was a hot day. It was humid in New York, in the Bronx. Good for him. Good for him. This is the only time in the entire speech I saw him take a sip of water. If it was me up there, and I'm half his age, if it was me up there, I'd be drinking every like 10 minutes. But he's just so powerful. He's so on point. Yes. That's why we love him. I mean, could you imagine, who would you rather hang out with, this guy or Vegetable in Chief? How much more fun? The guy doesn't even know where he is half the time, Biden.
She doing all right? She doing
Still
okay?
stopping his speech, not being selfish,
Thank you.
making sure 100% that whoever that was in the crowd noticed it, was aware enough to see it, cognizant enough, cogent. And watch, he won't break a beat. Watch, he won't break a beat. Genius. This guy won't start showing his age till he's 97.
You okay?
See that? Yeah!
Thank you. Doctor, thank you very much, doctors.
He gives
Got a lot of doctors in the house.
God, he's amazing.
Thank you very much.
God, he's amazing.
Thank you,
Love
darling.
you. Love you.
That's great.
You're the best. Get our country back, baby.
That's great. Great job.
Yeah.
People do a fantastic job here. But it's hot, and it's been a long wait, right? Long wait.
So good. Such a sweetheart.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Appreciate it.
Biden needs to
Thank
be
you.
on
I know she's going to be okay because she's so
bag full
tough.
of pills just to
Some
get
of the
through it.
greatest days of my business career were in the toughest times, but I enjoyed waking up every single morning and go to battle. A lot of people say to me today, the toughest business people that you know about, could I ask you a question? How do you do it? I say, do what? How do you get up in the morning and put your pants on? Where do you put the pants on? I'll explain it to you someday. How do you do it? How do you get up? How do you do it? How can you want to do with what you do? They're after you. They're after you. These horrible human beings are after you all the time. Impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, lawsuits all up. And they're doing it to injure the political opponent of an incompetent candidate because he can't run fairly and squarely. And I say, you know what I do? I just do it. I put on the blinders. I say, I just do it. We do it. And the other question they ask me is, will it happen again? And we have to make it too big to rig. We got a lot of great people watching. We have to make it too big to rig. But one of the things you need in success is momentum. You need momentum. You got to have, and when you have that momentum going, there's nothing that can stop you. And I tell the story of Bill Levitt. Bill Levitt was a great real estate man, great. Levitt towns all over the country. One of the most successful real estate people at a certain age ever. And he built these massive towns that were, you know, there was nothing like him at the time. And very successful. And he was offered a lot of money to sell to a big public company. And he decided to take it. He was a young man. He was in his 40s. And he said, darling, I'm going to take it. Told his wife, I want to take the money. And for 20 years, he went out, he bought a yacht. He lived a beautiful life. He lived in the south of France. But he got bored. And 21, 22 years later, he said, I want to make a comeback. I can't stand this life anymore. I want to make a comeback. And he went to the company that he sold to, a big public company that did very poorly. They had no idea what they were doing. You know, he used to, by the way, he used to pick up every nail, every piece of wood, He used to sell the sawdust, everything. He would say every penny was a major event. And now you had this big public company. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. So he went back and he made him an offer. They didn't want to sell, and he paid a little more. And he ended up buying it for an okay price. And he was so happy. He said, now I can go back to work. And he went back, and everything he touched turned bad. The market turned on him. The jobs turned on him. He was no longer able to get zoning. He was spending a fortune. He had just purchased it for a lot of money. And he ended up going bankrupt. He was bankrupt. And I was young when I met him. And I was at the party of a very big person, big public company person. And Bill Levitt was there. And I was in the real estate business, so I knew who he was. And you probably indirectly know who. And everybody was shunning him a little bit. Nobody cared about him anymore. But I did. And I went over to him and I say, hi, Mr. Levitt, I'm Donald Trump. I know it. I was doing great. I was sort of like a hot guy. I was hot as a pistol. I think I was hotter than I am now, and I became president, okay? I don't know. I said to somebody, was I hotter before or hotter now? I don't know. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Who the hell cares, right? But he knew who I was, and I went up, I said, so, are you okay? And he said, I'm not really okay. I made a mistake that I'll never forget. And he was, by this time, a pretty old guy. And he was sitting in the corner of this magnificent Fifth Avenue apartment where there were 25 very successful people. But I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to find out what happened because he lost everything. Everybody knew it. It was very public. And I said, what happened exactly? What happened? He said, son, I lost my momentum. I had something going that couldn't be stopped. And I should have just stayed. I lost my momentum. And I've never forgotten the term. If you lose your momentum, you got to figure it out. But Bill Levitt lost his momentum, and he died penniless. And he was the biggest real estate person on the planet. And I've never forgotten that story. And it was a sad story. He was a good man, too. I thought he was a good man, but did an unbelievable job. Today, you have Levittowns all over the country, and pretty amazing. But you have to always keep moving forward. And when it's your time, you have to know it's your time. And I said to myself, in terms of politics, I said, you know what? We did so well in number one. We did even better in number two. I said, we got to do it again because you have to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. And I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it to make America great again. You know, if I didn't think we easily won, I would never do this. Because you know what? In many ways, it's easier. You have a winner, you have a loser. It's okay. I won once. It was a big upset, I guess. I don't know why it was an upset. Because I'd go and I'd have 50,000 people at a rally. She'd go and have 200 people. And then they say, why did I win Michigan? Why did I win Pennsylvania? Why did I win all these states that a Republican hadn't won in many years? Why? And by the way, we're up in Pennsylvania. We're up in Michigan. We're up in New Hampshire today. We're up in Florida at numbers that you wouldn't even believe.
Back, y'all.
But I also think it's very important to know what you want. You have to set your sights high. Set your sights so high, higher than you ever thought possible, and make your goals big and go after it. That's why I say we won't just make New York a little better. I say we want to make New York a lot better, better than it ever was before.
Woo!
Right?
My pleasure, Mountain Goddess.
And finally, you have to take pride in your accomplishments. Do not take for granted what you've achieved. Forget it. It's over. It's good for your confidence, but it's over. Go forward. Think to the future, not to the past, but learn from the past. You know, wherever I go, I know that if I could build a skyscraper in Manhattan, I could do anything. It's very tough. Building a 68-story building on Fifth Avenue is hard. With all you have to deal with, I mean, you have unions, you have legal entanglements,
Peter,
property rights, zoning. You're dealing with the smartest and toughest contractors in the world. These are killers. Many of you are here today. Thank you very much. But by comparison, talking to world leaders, I believe, is easier. And I've done them both. Talking to a world leader, if you're smart, you know, you have the United States behind you. Now, the country's not the same, but it'll be better and stronger and bigger in a very short period of time.
He's going to make everybody prosper.
We have so many different things we could discuss having to do with the Republican Party. But the biggest thing, I think, and I really mean this, and it's happening more and more, and I see it all the time, because
Yes.
really you have to be
Yes.
the party of common sense as opposed to the Democrat Party. It's a party of failure, extremism, and gross incompetence, and that's what it is. And they're going to destroy our country.
Yes.
But our
They already
country has
have.
faced down much
18
harder
million
challenges
illegals.
before and come back stronger than ever. That's why I so firmly believe that we can quickly make America a great and glorious nation again. When I take office, we are going to restore public safety and the rule of law in New York City.
Yes.
That starts with stopping the pouring into our country of millions and millions of illegal immigrants, which are causing a new category of violence called the migrant crime. We have a migrant crime happening
Yes.
now. You add that to the crime already.
Yes.
A terrible statistic. Venezuela was a very crime-ridden country. They just announced a month ago 67, but now they just announced 72% reduction in crime in Venezuela. In Caracas, they took their gang members, they took their drug dealers, they are emptying out their prisons. They're taking everybody that's
tragic.
a problem and they're dumping them into the United States of America. We're like a dumping ground.
Yeah.
But many countries are doing that. I would say eventually all countries would be doing that. If I headed up Honduras, if I headed up any one of the countries that are neighboring or not neighboring, and we're not talking about just South America.
You
countries.
cannot have
We're
a
talking
country
about
without
countries
law and
from
order. Without law and
Africa.
order, you have one
The other day,
thing and one thing only: anarchy. Then you can't
22
take your kids
people
to
from
parks.
the Congo.
You can't go
Where do you
outside
live?
with your
We came
dog.
from
You
jail.
can't
What did
enjoy
you do
all
in
the
jail? We
freedoms
don't
that
wanna
this
tell
country
you.
affords us.
They're now
You
living
can't
happily.
go anywhere.
They come from Africa.
Look what's
They
happening
come
in Los
from
Angeles,
Asia.
Chicago.
They come from all over the world. They come from the Middle East, Yemen. We're bombing Yemen. Here we go with the bombs again. We're bombing Yemen, and people are coming in from Yemen. Large numbers of people are coming in from China. And if you look at these people, did you see them? They are physically fit. They're 19 to 25. Almost everyone is a male.
Military-aged men.
And they look like fighting age. I think they're building an army. They had 29,000 people over the last. I think they're building, they want to get us from within. I think they're building an army. This is not, you know, it's interesting. Did you see them? They all have tents. They all have gas-fired stoves. I mean, this is not like an illegal immigrant. This is, they're building something. They have something in mind. We're going to end all of that stuff. They respected your president. They respected our country. And we're not going to let people, we are not going to let these people come in and take our city away from us and take our country away from us. It's not going to happen.
By the way, I paused it for a second. Have you heard one time the former president stumble, mumble, slur, lose his place, not understand the teleprompter, not even know he's alive? This guy is absolute pristine. I mean, unreal focus, determination, confidence, energy. It's a joke. The other guy is a joke. There's no comparison.
Now, who would let people, seriously, who would let people come from prisons and jails, from mental institutions? They cannot stay. We will immediately begin the largest criminal deportation operation in our country's history because this situation is sustainable by no country. No country can sustain this. As we speak, there are hundreds of thousands of Biden migrants invading our city and our country. We no longer have border states like Texas and Arizona. All states, including New York, are your border state. The people are pouring through Texas. They're pouring through Arizona. They're pouring through every state. Every state is now a border state. Every state is now, we're talking about, in my opinion, 16 to 17 million people. And these are not necessarily people that are going to help us as a country. We want to be nice. We want to be respectful. They're coming from so many places. We don't have any idea. In many cases, we don't even know what the language. You know, you have languages that people don't even know about. We have languages where there's nobody in our country that speaks these languages. They're coming from places we have no idea what's happening with our country. The flood of migrants is putting crippling burdens on our communities, your schools, hospitals, parks, and public resources. Frankly, we're lucky to get this big park. I don't know how the hell we did it. It must be New York's finest. I don't know how we did it.
How do you not
They
love
call
this
it
guy?
the Biden migrant invasion, and it's wrong. It's immoral. And the vast majority of
Well
New
said,
Yorkers
Linda.
agree with me that this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We must stop it. We must stop it immediately. And you know, for the people coming up, it's also unacceptable. They come up in what's called caravans. The women are treated
Well said.
horribly. They're being raped at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Nobody wants to talk about it. The fake news will report that, oh, it's so terrible what he said. But it's fact. It's fact. The people are being treated. They're
100%,
coming
Mike.
up in 100 degrees, and then it's freezing. They're coming through snake-infested areas. It's a hell of a journey, and so many people are dying coming up. If we told them, please do not come up, you're not going to come in, like I was telling them for a long period of time, they wouldn't come. They're being offered. Look at California Governor Newsom. Governor Newsom.
Newsom.
He offers education. He offers medical care. He offers pensions. He offers everything. He'll even give them an electric car because they're all over the place. How about the electric mandate? You like the all-electric mandate? Not too much. Huh?
Awful.
Does anybody like a car that doesn't go very far? Costs a lot. In Brooklyn, American students at James Madison High School were recently told they had to stay at home from school so their classrooms could be turned into housing for thousands of migrants. Very simply, Joe Biden puts illegal aliens first. I put America first. I put America first.
That's right. That's right. Not Ukraine. That's fine. We can help other countries, but start here first. Come on. USA. USA.
Would anybody, now this is up to you, has anybody heard the snake? Would anybody like to hear the snake?
Yes.
Because we can stay here all night, I don't care. Would you like to hear the snake? So it's a metaphor, it's an
I
old
love this
song,
guy.
and it was redone. It didn't have anything to do with snakes or people or illegal immigration, but this has to do with illegal immigration. And I think it's very accurate, actually, and it's very sad. But I'll go and we'll do it, and some of you have heard it, and many of you haven't. But we're going to do it right now for the great people of the Bronx and elsewhere.
Listen
We
to
love
this.
the Bronx. We love the Bronx. Are you ready? On her work, and you know what? You know what this is all about, right? Did you know? You've heard this before? Have you heard it? We got the greatest people here. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, he said, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Right? So when we allow people from prisons when we allow people from insane asylums and mental institutions, which are being emptied out all over the world. You know, their prison populations are going way down. You know why? Because they're being dumped into the United States. When we are allowing terrorists at numbers that we've never seen before, remember the snake. Remember the snake. Because you're going to get bitten like you never got bitten before, and you need a new president, and you have to get rid of this person who is not a smart person, not a respected person, and doesn't have a clue what the hell is happening. So, that's the snake. Did you enjoy the snake?
Yes.
On day one, I will seal the border, and I will stop the invasion of our country. Very sadly, in recent years, we have also seen our city destroyed by bad, radical left, pro-crime policy that virtually everyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent, everyone, you all know it's a disaster. You know the names of these lunatic policies. No cash bail. Somebody kills somebody. Go out. No bail. Don't worry. Go out and kill a couple of more people. Defund our great police. Defund the police. Sanctuary cities. Release violent repeat offenders from jail. Joe Biden supports all of this insanity and much more, but millions of people across New York know it's crazy. There is no way when you watch this guy get off an airplane, he doesn't even have to talk. When he falls out of a helicopter, he's got 3 little stairs. It's not that hard. You got 2 railings.
3 little stairs.
You don't fall out of helicopters. You don't fall upstairs. He falls up. He has more trouble going up than he does coming down. That's a little sick. But you're just not going to vote for him.
How do you love this guy? How do you not love this guy?
If we just win the state, it just puts it right. It's such a big state. It puts it to bed. You're going to have a president.
Definitely not. That's the difference. That's the difference between Vegetable in Chief and Trump. Trump is speaking straight from his heart. I mean, he has a teleprompter there, but he always goes off teleprompter because he reads the crowd. He reads the situation like believe me, guys, listen to me very carefully. I taught public speaking, communications at the university level, at the indoctrination camps, those slimy, awful indoctrination camps, AKA college campuses across the US. He has a teleprompter to just keep him on point on certain things, but he goes off all the time. Meanwhile, Vegetable in Chief can barely put 2 sentences together. He can barely read the teleprompter because he doesn't even know if he's alive.
And people, but you're going to have a president that understands what we have to do. We have to be nice about it, but we have to do things, and we're going to be done. And the world is going to respect us again. We were never so respected as we were 4 years ago. President Xi of China. Putin. You know, Viktor Orban, did you ever hear of him? Prime Minister of Hungary. Very tough guy, known as a strong man. Oh, they hate it when I talk about him because they say he's a strong man. Trump loves strong men. I don't know. I like weak men, actually. I like weak men. I'd much rather have a weak man than a strong man. But he is a strong man. And they asked him, why is it that the whole world is blowing up? He said, one simple reason, Trump is not president in the United States. He said, you put Trump back as president and the whole world is going to get better, because they were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out. Trump was a rather difficult person, but he used the word afraid. I don't use it. I don't use afraid. I use the word respect. They respected your president. They respected the United States of America, and they're going to do it again, and it's going to happen fast. But we have to get this absolute disaster. The worst president in history. He makes Jimmy Carter look like he had a brilliant administration.
That's a good description.
The only happy person about Joe Biden is Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy looks brilliant by comparison. I also want to thank New York's finest. I grew up with them. I know them. I love them. I love our firemen. I love our teachers. These are incredible people, and we have to bring the word respect and honor back to them right where it belongs. Yes. A few weeks ago, I visited with a grieving family, New York police officer Jonathan Diller. What a beautiful family. He was a beautiful person. He was 31 years old, gunned down during a traffic stop by a vicious thug, and just horrible, leaving his beautiful young wife behind, a son, Ryan, behind, 1-year-old son. And it was the saddest day. It was a horrible thing. Opened the door, just started shooting him. The criminal charge was savagely murdering Officer Dillon, was previously arrested by the NYPD 21 times. and he was allowed to go out because of the political things they do here. I'm the only one they want to keep. If I ever said, I want no bail, they'd say, you got to pay a fortune. If I ever say, oh, no cash bail, that sounds good, that sounds good. No, it doesn't apply to Trump. I'm the only one it doesn't apply to, probably. And the accomplice driving the car had been arrested 14 times and was actually a far more violent person. And his nickname was Killer. They called him Killer. These dangerous and violent repeat offenders should never have been on our streets. Jonathan should be alive today, but they were released again and again and again. I will not sit by and accept this reckless insanity when I am in the White House. I will stand up to the Marxist DAs and Soros prosecutors, and we will tell them, no more. We're not going to stand for it.
No.
We will not let them destroy our communities. We will not let them destroy our country. There's a 53% increase in felony assaults on your subways. 53%. That's in a short period of time. Since 2019, murders are up more than 20%. Shootings are up more than 30%. I'm going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong actions on crime. And remember, Black, Hispanic, Asian people need this protection and safety more than anyone else. Don't ever forget it. And after years of talk by the radical left Democrats, we are going to give them the protection they need, and we're going to protect our police. We're going to make sure they do a great job. They can do it very quickly. They know who the bad guys are. They know everything about them. They know their name. They know their middle initial. We're going to insist that if a violent criminal murders a police officer, they receive the death penalty. It's going to be quick.
It's going to be quick.
And I also want to work with your mayor and your governor, happen to be Democrats, to clean up the homeless encampments so that you can once again enjoy your parks and your public spaces. Right now, you don't have public spaces. They're occupied by migrants in tents.
Yep.
Pleasures as simple as a walk in the park or watching your children again play in a Little League game will come roaring back, and they're going to come back very quickly. Your lifestyle and the American dream will be with you once again. And we're going to bring it back, the American dream.
Yes.
You don't have an American dream right
yes.
now.
Let's go.
You will be
America
proud,
first.
and your children and your country will be even prouder of you. Years ago, people with severe mental illness were in mental institutions, and then a certain governor, I won't mention the name because at this point, what difference? They dumped all of them into the streets because they said those institutions were too expensive to run. So now they live on our streets, and that's what we have. This is no good for anybody. It's bad for the people who need help, and it's bad for the people of our city, and it's a horrible, horrible way to live. I want to work in partnership with your local leaders, Democrats, pretty much all, and move the severely mentally ill off your streets and back into a place where they can get help and the help that they desperately need. I want to recognize, by the way, a few very special people. You have some really great people here, and I'm sorry I can't mention all. We have congressmen all over the place, but I just can't mention you today. You're never going to speak to me, but would anybody like to hear these congressmen's names?
Yes.
But I do have to mention a few people. We're truly honored to be joined by a man who is a Democrat and a former member of the New York City Council, and he's been a friend of mine, and he helped me very much with the Ferry Point project and getting it working, and did a really good job. Ruben Diaz Sr. Come on up, Ruben.
Come on, Ruben. If you love your country, let me know in the comments.
Good.
If you love your country, let me know in the comments. Bernie, good to see you. Oh, this guy's awesome. Listen to this.
Thank you. Mr. President, I am a Puerto Rican, a black Puerto Rican. I used to be a state senator for 15 years. And I used to be city council member. Today I'm here for various reasons. But I want to tell you first that as a Puerto Rican, as a Hispanic, I want to apologize to you for the conduct of Judge Juan Merchan. As a Hispanic, I want to apologize.
Thank you.
He's been used. He has been used to destroy you. But we know better than that.
Yes.
We know better than that. As a minister, president of the New York Hispanic Clergy Organization, I want to tell AOC,
Yeah, boo.
this morning she intended to become a prophet. And she said, even God doesn't want Trump in the Bronx
Boo.
because it's going to rain. Madam Prophet AOC, you have become a false prophet.
Yeah. Woo. Look at Trump.
Look at what a beautiful day.
Yes.
That means that not only you guys want Trump in the Bronx, because if we're going to measure that for the weather, then I would say humbly that even God wants you in the Bronx.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I want
Say USA. USA. USA.
And I
USA.
want to close by saying, Mr. President, I want to join you in having the Bronx great again.
Yes. Yes.
Please accept this Democrat, this black Puerto Rican with a kinky hair and a broken English. Please accept my endorsement for you as a president.
Yeah. 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 Yes. Look how grateful Trump is, too. He doesn't need anybody. Trump doesn't need this guy. Look how grateful he is. Humble. He appreciates that. He looks good, too, man. Trump looks good. He looks vivacious. Tell me he looks good in the comments.
Thank you very much. How nice was that? I didn't expect that. Really? That was beautiful.
Woo!
You know, it's always dangerous to do that. You never know what's going to come out. Maybe he'll change his mind coming up, but he doesn't change his mind. That man is a winner. He's a winner and a great man. Thank you very much, Ruben. Also with us is New York native and current U.S. Congressman. He's hot as a pistol. Oh, boy, he has a future. And he's a great friend of mine, Byron Donalds. Come up, please, Byron. Give him help.
Oh, wow. Woo. Mr. President, there's more of them here now than when I was up about an hour and a half ago. If there's one thing we know, is that this man was one of the best presidents this country has ever had.
Yes. Yes.
And if there's another thing that we know, is that all of you are going to make him the 47th president of the United States.
Yes.
Thank you, Byron. Great. What a good future. Here as well as rapper Chef G. Does everybody know Chef? Where is Chef G? Where is he? Come on up, fellas. Rapper Sleepy Hollow.
Look at these guys.
Come on up here, fellas. How are you, man? Hey. Oh, I like that.
I like
wanna get
that.
that done.
So good. He's so good. Trump's a G, man.
One thing I want to say. One thing I want to say, they always gonna whisper your accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us.
Yes. 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 Come on. Let's go.
Make
God,
America great again.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, fellas.
Appreciate you.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
How do you
That's
not
where
love
I
this
like
guy?
those teeth. I want to find out where you did. I got to get my teeth like that. I want that to happen to me. As somebody with a fantastic future in the Republican Party and beyond, Gavin Wax, thank you. Young Republicans, Gavin, wherever you are. Thank you, Gavin. Adam Solis of New York, Young Republicans, who's been fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good job you're doing.
Yeah.
Madeline Brame of Blexit. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you very much. Somebody that's
Trump
a real
Grill.
star in politics and done an incredible job and so popular in Nassau County. The county executive, Nassau County, Bruce Blakeman. Come up, Bruce, for a second. Come up, Bruce. Where is Bruce? We got to get Bruce. Where is he? That's a long way to come up the hill with Bruce, right? Come on up, Bruce. Come on. This guy is central casting.
So
If I'm doing a movie on a politician, this is the guy I have playing. Come on.
I love it.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Both my parents were World War II veterans. Not many people can say about that. They would be shocked and appalled by what's going on in this foreign invasion from our southern border. Nassau County is not a sanctuary county, and when Donald Trump gets reelected, this will not be a sanctuary country.
Yes.
God bless America.
Yes. God, that's so good. Yes. If you're
Good
having
man,
fun, give
good
me a
man.
yeah in the comments. USA. USA.
Thank you very much, guys. National Committeeman and Chairman Joe Cairo. Joe, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. And Andrew, thank you very much for being here. Star of the future. I heard you made a good speech.
Good
Thank you
speech.
very much. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. We have so many people out there, but we're going to finish this up. This has been, I didn't know. I woke up, I said, I wonder, will it be hostile or will it be friendly? It was beyond friendly.
Love fest.
It was a love fest. From the very first day that we take back the White House, I believe we are going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to restore peace through strength. We're going to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of our country. We're going to protect our great seniors, and I will never let anyone touch your Medicare or your Social Security. Under the Democrat program, they will be gone. We are going to restore free speech in America. We are going to fight for your right to school choice, something you all want. And I will not allow schools to impose COVID vaccine mandates or mask mandates.
No, none of
We
that
are
crap.
going to get far-left Marxist lunacy out of our children's classrooms. We're going to keep men out of women's sports. And we will, once and for all, secure our elections. But all of this, saving New York and saving America, starts with telling crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in history, you're fired, like the apprentice. You're fired. Get out. You were terrible. You're destroying our country, Joe. Get out. If you want to help, you must vote. I believe that we can win New York State. We have levels of support that nobody's seen before. I mean, look at this. So register, volunteer, turn out everyone you know. Don't assume it doesn't matter just because you live in a blue city. You live in a blue city, but it's going red very, very quickly. We must work together as a team to win. New York has always been the home of proud patriots like you. You are proud patriots. You love this. You love this city. You love this state, and you love our country. New York
Yes.
was
Yes.
the city loved
Yes.
by Teddy Roosevelt,
Come on.
Norman Rockwell,
Oh, I love Teddy.
the great Flo Ziegfeld, General Douglas MacArthur, George Gershwin, Frank Sinatra, and in baseball alone, Babe Ruth,
Yeah.
Lou Gehrig,
Yeah.
Joe DiMaggio,
Woo!
Jackie Robinson,
Yes.
and many, many others. It's a city where workers and skilled craftsmen strode across steel beams 80 stories high to build the great Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building and all of the others. It's the city that lit up the shining lights of Broadway, that turned Times Square from a seedy, dirty, long-forgotten area into one of the greatest crossroads of light and glamour anywhere in the world. It's the city that produced generations of everyday American heroes who willingly spilled their blood and gave everything they had to make America into the greatest nation in the history of the world.
Yes.
Above all, this is the place that every one of us here today has been proud to call our home, our town, our city. And we are the ones who are going to make our city great again. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this city, and it is hardworking patriots, and this is something you can say it, and you can say it a million times, and you can emblazon it. It's hardworking patriots like you who are
Yes.
going to save our country.
Yes.
You are going to save our country. We're going to get out and vote like never before. We're going to make it too big to rig. Our vote is going to be too big to rig. So one thing they can't guard against, working together, there is nothing we cannot do and no height we cannot achieve. Together we will make America powerful again.
Woo!
We will make America wealthy again.
Yes!
We will make America strong again.
Yes!
We will make America proud again.
Yes!
We will make America safe again.
Yes!
We will make America great again. Thank you, Bronx. Thank you, New York. We love you. Thank you. God bless everybody. God bless you. God bless you.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, I have to mute it because the music will get flagged. But holy mackerel, is that, how in the world does Tombstone Vegetable in Chief Biden even expect to have a chance with that? I mean, this isn't like his, first rally, his second rally. This guy's been doing rally after rally. He's been double timing it, triple timing it, quadruple timing it because of the fake sham trial in New York with the fake Don Juan Mershon and Alvin Do Nothing Bragg and Letitia Big Shane James, too big to rig. I mean, he has been up. I don't even know if he got any sleep. He literally, if you saw my last video, and I got a ton of clips of, essentially it was a precursor to what was going to happen. And it was a preview with clips of all the people, the huge lines, people talking about how and why they're excited he's coming to the Bronx. I mean, it was phenomenal. This guy showed up at 2 a.m. He's got more energy than people half his age, and stumbling, mumbling, shuffling vegetable in chief with 900 stipulations. Now he wants to sit down because he can't stand. He can't stand. He can't stand for longer than 45 minutes. The guy's going to fall down. He falls up. That's what Trump said. Trump said he falls up. He's the kind of guy that falls up. Oh, my God. I mean, you guys, I can literally tell you without a shadow of hyperbole, I'm not exaggerating, not one molecule of exaggeration. I have never been this pumped up. I don't think I've ever been this pumped up after a speech. I mean, any speech. Let me give a little bit of caveat to that. I know that this is a huge consequential year for our republic. I've said this many, many times. I think this is the most consequential election of my lifetime, my father's lifetime. My father's in his late 70s. I think that this is probably, and he agrees, by the way, I think this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, election of our lives. And so there could be a little bit of that heat and fury behind this because my love bleeds through every pore of my body. I bleed red, white, and blue. This country, I've got kids. I want this country to not just flourish for my kids, not just flourish for my grandkids. I want this country to absolutely, I want this country to flourish for trillions of years. That's what I want. I don't want to be present during the Roman Empire fall. I don't want to be alive during the Roman fall. I don't want to do that. And I know you don't either. This is just a phenomenal, phenomenal speech. Please do me a favor right now before you guys go, live streamers, live viewers, replay viewers for sure do this, but live viewers, it takes you only a second. I beg you. If you love the USA, if you love our country, if you support my channel, all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into presenting all of this, it's not easy, you know. Please do me a favor and just tap that thumbs up. That's all I want you to do. It takes you a nanosecond. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Go tap that thumbs up. Why? Because when you do that, it tells the algorithm to push our videos more to bigger audiences. I am going to make it my mission in life to make, this is how important, this is my purpose in life. I'm going to make this the biggest media entity on the grassroots mom and pop level as possible. I'm going to make this the biggest channel. I work my butt off every day for this channel. Why? Not for fame, not for notoriety, not for recognition, not for anything like that. Because my heart bleeds red, white, and blue, and I cannot stand to see my country decaying right before my eyes. So if that resonates with you at all, tap that thumbs up. I beg you, tap the thumbs up. It takes you a nanosecond. Tap the thumbs up. I love you guys so much. I'm going to give a big shout out, and I want to hear from you guys too. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me that you think that that was one of the most phenomenal? I mean, I haven't heard that many speeches that even come close to that. I can honestly say that is one of the most inspiring speeches. I mean, first of all, have you ever once in your entire life, even when he was back in, in the Senate, even when he was before vice president, but have you ever, in this guy's 50+ year career of being part of the swamp vermin in Washington, have you ever once heard Joe Biden talk and felt this way? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I'm going to give some shout outs to the people who gave us super chats and new members. And I'm going to officially make this a members only now. So this is your chance. If you want to be a member and support the greatest channel on planet Earth, fighting for our freedoms and fighting for the USA, it only costs you a cup of coffee for the entire month. You spend more than that in 30 seconds at Starbucks. So consider that. All the proceeds, I reinvest everything back in the channel. There's a join button down there. Also in the description and show notes, there's a join button there. My mod, Captain Mike, will put the link in the comments. Consider becoming, you don't have to. I'm going to still give you the best free content on planet Earth, but it would be a great service and you get all sorts of perks. You get access to our members only Discord. You get first dibs on comments, replies, badges next to your name, special emojis, live stream shout outs, first dibs on any Q&A when we have guests on. We've got the Sadow, the Pitbull coming. We've got a bunch of amazing guests lined up to come on our show. Consider being a member. Okay, it is now members only. So I'm going to hang out. If you want to hang out, please feel free to hang out. If you are a member, you are able to chat and you're able to hang out with us. I always like to do this at the end of my streams because it's a special perk I want to give to our members. And so stick around. If you did give a super chat or a super sticker, do stick around because I'm going to actually give you some shout outs here. Thank you, Captain Mike. I want to first give a big shout out to Matt Chu for the $10 super chat. Matt Chu says, I love his profile picture. Matt Chu says, all these fake sham trials are propelling Trump even further. Yes, the Dems are so blind, they can't even see that they're helping him. Exactly. Imagine if they actually convict him. By the way,
subscribe and follow, because this coming week, we're about to head into the weekend. But after Memorial Day weekend, which, by the way, a huge, huge thank you and salute. I know our mod, Captain Mike, is a service member, a veteran. All our veterans, we would not have you. We would not have a country. We would not have the freedoms that we all get to enjoy without you. So it's all dedicated to you. Thank you, and God bless you, all veterans. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you, Matt Chu. I want to give a big shout out to Sazafraz for the $10 super chat. Who would have ever imagined that there would be a Trump fire in the South Bronx? Isn't that just lovely? Isn't that just adorable? It's just awesome. President Trump is bringing everyone together. We are getting our country back. Amen. Amen to that. Absolutely. Welcome, Anna Walker. Everybody give a big warm welcome to Anna Walker. Welcome, Anna Walker, to being a new channel member. And don't forget, go to the community tab, and there's a members only community post where the link to our members only Discord is. Go click on that and join. We hang out, we have conversations, we engage. All of our members are in there. Well, not all of them, but a good amount of members are in there. Go make sure you be a part of that, as well as a ton of other perks. Thank you. Welcome, Angie. Tree Climber, DJT, Donald J. Trump or Bus 24. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that. That is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, I mean, I'm so reeling from that speech. I just think it's so, I'm breathless. It's just powerful. You see how on point he is. You see how focused. You see how with it, aware, perceptive, cognizant. That incident that happened, which happens a lot, somebody fainted in the audience. He stops the entire speech and gives everybody a chance to gives a doctor a chance. I mean, you would never see Vegetable in Chief do that. Mountain Goddess, look at this. Wow. Mountain Goddess gifts 5 memberships. You are awesome. That is so awesome of you, Mountain Goddess. Thank you so much. Mountain Goddess just gifted 5 Professor Nez memberships. Again, make sure you go join our members-only Discord. There's going to be a whole... Oh, by the way, I don't think I even said this perk, because there's so many cool ones. Never mind the fact that you can support the truth. But we also do, and Captain Mike, please back me up on this, because he got some amazing merch and he got an amazing Amazon gift card. We do live stream giveaways. And that's only members only live stream giveaways. So last time we gave out Nez Nation hats. We gave out Nez Nation shirts, cups, buttons. Here's a hat. It's a little bit dirty because I've used it a lot with walks on my dog Blue. We also gave away Amazon gift cards. Sometimes I give out cash. So another benefit, another perk of being a member. So consider that. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, Jenny Jen. Time for Biden to go. Sazafraz says he's the complete opposite what the mainstream media try. Oh, it's total desperation. You know what it is, Sazafraz? It is utter blind desperation time for the radical, fake woke mind mafia. The woke mind virus is the worst contagion. DEI is the globe's, if not the world's, worst idea. Literally the world's worst idea. I don't know where it stemmed from, but the fact that it's infected our beautiful country is a travesty. And so thank you, Flya on Rumble. I appreciate that. And so, it's desperation time. It's absolutely desperation time. And so, yes, Mike says, I love this. Mike says, yes, use my picture. You can see Mike in his profile picture. He is the best mod in the business. By the way, I want to everybody give a big shout out to Captain Mike Schreiber. Happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day weekend.
You know, I might go live this weekend too. You never know when Nez is going to go live. As I said before, I was literally just planning on doing a, a video on demand of the rally. And as I was considering it, I was going through all my research, all my clips, I was going through all my production notes, I was going through all my script, going through everything, right, that it takes to put these videos together. And I just thought to myself, I was watching the speech, I was listening to Trump, and I was my wife was like, "What are you laughing at?" She's like, "I haven't heard you laugh like that in 8." He is so charming, he's got such an intact soul. He's so relatable. He's so down to earth. He is, the best way I can put it, he's anchored in reality. Unlike these elitist woke mind mafia heathens, he is absolutely rooted and from the earth. I love it. And I just said to myself, and then I also, went to our Discord, our members only Discord, and I asked, and this is another thing, another perk of being a member. I asked our members, I said, "What do you guys think? You think I should go live?" I was going through all this footage, going through all my notes, all my qualitative and quantitative research. I just love this speech so much. I think I'm just going to go live and have a visceral, real reaction to it in real, actual time. And that's what happened. That's another reason why I'm so impressed, so blown away. And honestly, it's not just compare contrast, right? Because you could put a corpse next to Biden, they'd look cognizant. He is, you can just sell, he's seething with passion. He is absolutely imbued with red, white, and blue, with the USA, with America. You guys, he's got plenty of fame. You think he needs these trials, the government coming after him, attacking him? I just heard recently breaking news that the DOJ, the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, issued a violent force. He actually approved of the use of deadly force when raiding Mar-a-Lago. Can you imagine? I mean, what does that do to a person who's given so much to their country? What does that do? It's so hard to, he's a man, he's a human being, and as somebody who is successful, somebody who understands people, you have to be sensitive to that. And you're sensitive to the positive as well as the negative. That kind of stuff affects you, whether you like it or not. I don't care how cool you think you are. That stuff affects you. He doesn't need any of this stuff. He doesn't need 92 indictments that he's never, ever been tried of before or accused of before. He doesn't need any of this stuff. He is imbued with red, white, and blue. He personifies to me the ultimate American patriot because he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the notoriety. He doesn't need the fame. He doesn't need any of it. And when I judge somebody, and maybe this is going to sound really superficial, there's a lot of things that I'm bad at, okay? I'll be the first to admit there's a lot of things I'm bad at, okay? I am not a Mr. Fix-It dude. I hire people to change light bulbs. That's how bad I am at, doing. My wife hates it, doing stuff around the house. I'm just not that's not who I am. I'm terrible at that. But there's one thing that I am capital P proficient in, and that is reading people. I am very, very good. I am the Michael Jordan of reading people. And I can tell within literally 30 seconds if somebody's got what it takes or they don't. And I don't think I've ever come across somebody like Trump who time after time after time, he just impresses me every time I see him, I hear him talk, especially when I hear what he has to say and what he plans on doing for our amazing, beautiful, democratic republic, the United States of America, which I love with every molecule in my heart. And so it's something that I can read on people really well. Good to see you, Jamie. Jamie says, Biden gets a warm blanket and ice cream while the lawyers look for stuff, not the same treatment. Yeah. And here's another thing that's really sad and crazy is he also, not only that, well said, Jamie, not only that, but for some reason he gets executive privilege
And he gets to hide his audio tapes of his interview that was conducted by investigator Robert Hur regarding the classified documents he had in his garage. Now, let me ask you a very serious question. Please let me know in the comments, how is that fair? How is that not a double standard? Nixon had to give up his tapes. I just watched an amazing documentary before all that hubbub came out. I watched an amazing documentary on Nixon's presidency, okay, who I think is still to this day underestimated for what he's done with China, what he did with the EPA, what he did with a lot of powerful legislation that is still, we're still feeling the positive effects of to this day, current day. Why is it that he gets to issue executive privilege? And what does that tell you? Not only the fact that he is allowed to hide the audio tapes, but what does that even tell you? What do you have to hide, VIC? What do you have to hide, Vegetable in Chief? It seems like you are afraid that the American public that you work for, by the way, he works for us, not the other way around. He is a public servant. You work for me, Tombstone Biden, as an American citizen, born, raised, and made here. You work for me, pal. And if you want my trust, you got to earn it. Where's the credibility? Where's the transparency? You need to earn it, buddy. You work for us. And so it's very, very bizarre. I don't know how he's allowed to do that. I don't know how he's allowed to get away with that. I really don't. So, yeah, Jamie's in our Discord. Love it. Jamie, it's so awesome to have you here. So awesome to have you here. Peter says, it's so great to have you too, Peter. And God bless you, sir. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your patriotism. Thank you for your love of the country that I love. That I bleed through and through, red, white, and blue. It's awesome to have you here, Peter. Peter says, deadly force against the former First Family is so low. Biden will do anything to win. Yeah. You know, I've been covering a lot of these trials. I've been covering a lot of these sham cases. And I can tell you right now that I've done my due diligence just on my own expertise, as well as garnering case studies and garnering outside external resources. Every legal scholar, every legal specialist, every law professor that is worth their weight in gold has said the same thing. There is no basis. There's no merit to this case. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to get convicted. They're not going to just let him off. They're going to go through this whole charade and be like, never mind, you're innocent. I don't care if it's a jury of his peers or God. I don't even know who's on that jury. I don't know who's bought and paid for. Hey, look at this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know what to call you. You go by Tony Hey Munkets. That's a cool name for a channel. I like your bike there. Is that a Harley? There is no merit. Welcome to being a member, Tony. It's great to have you. Let me know what your nickname is or how you want to be referred to. There's no merit. And so I am very sadly, deeply saddened that the likelihood of Trump getting convicted, which I did an entire video on, by the way, the likelihood of Trump being convicted is like 99%. I don't think he's going to, even though you got a star witness, and this is Captain Mike's amazing nickname, Michael Pinocchio Cohen. I love that, by the way, Mike. I was calling him Michael. I can't tell the truth if it slapped me in the face, Cohen, but I love it. I love Michael Pinocchio Cohen. Perfect. That is your star witness. A guy who is a convicted serial perjurer. He lied to Congress. He lied to Congress. He went to jail for lying to Congress. He got disbarred for lying under oath. And that's your star witness? Not only that, the crazy thing is, not only did he get convicted,
Not only is oh, that's so awesome. You and Angie know each other. That's fantastic. That's great to have you. Welcome. Welcome, Tony. Is it Tony? You go by Tony? Tony says, if Angie's a member, I know it's a good channel. That's cool. Oh, yeah. Angie's here. Angie's in the house. If that's who you're basing your entire case on, and not only did he lie outside of court, but he lied under oath in this trial. He lied to defense attorney Todd Blanche. He lied about some weird text messages he got. He was about being harassed by a 14-year-old, and he said he contacted Trump's. I mean, it's just absurd. Doesn't even, you know what? Absurd doesn't even cover it fully. Absurd doesn't even cover it fully. It's preposterous with all capital P's. Preposterous. You have to add an extra P. That's how bad it is. So the fact that he's still going, the fact that he fights through all that, he's a human being, all of this stuff affects him. And my ability to read people, which I have huge faith in, my ability to read people. I've been right 99.99% of the time. Even my wife is like, I don't know how you knew that guy was crap, or I don't know how you knew that lady was lying to us. Like, I am very, very adept at that. Again, not trying to be, I'm not tooting my own horn. There's a lot of things I'm bad at, okay? But when it comes to this, I am the Michael Jordan of reading people. And Trump continues to impress me. He continues to show his faith in the country, his faith in American people, and his willingness to fight for them. That's why there is no real choice in 2024. There just isn't. If you're either for America or not. I know that sounds divisive, or it sounds almost stark, dark, twisted, esoteric, but it's the absolute truth. If you love America, there's only one choice. If you love the idea of America first, there's only one choice. If you actually want secure borders, there's only one choice. Over 18 million illegal aliens. Look, I'm the first person to tell you, my parents were immigrants, legal immigrants. I have no problem with legal. The operative word there is legal. Legal immigration, totally fine. Just this is another reason why I advocate for law and order. If you don't have law and order, if you don't penalize people for committing egregious crimes, you have LA that is a cesspool. LA is a cesspool. You've got New York, Chicago, Portland, dystopia, and innumerable other cities, Detroit, Baltimore, innumerable other cities that are just rife with crime, rife with lawlessness. If you're for that, there's only one choice. If you're for law and order, there's only one choice. If you're against giving our kids puberty blockers before the age of consent, not understanding what the long-term healthcare ramifications are, there's only one choice. If you actually believe in hiring the best person for the job, a meritocracy, America is all about the best person for the job, the best idea wins. If you're for that, there's only one choice. If you're for DEI, the worst idea ever invented, which is just a euphemism for discrimination, there's another choice there. So again, I don't mean to be stark. I don't mean to be foreboding or dark or esoteric, but there's really only one choice. And that's why I'm just so proud of what we've done here. I love you guys and your support. I love reading your comments. By the way, every single morning, and I do this at night too. After I spend time with my dog and my family, after we've had dinner at night, I got my laptop. I'm reading all the comments. In the morning, when I have my cup of coffee, I'm reading all the comments. It's impossible for me to reply to all of them. It's literally physically impossible. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to produce new videos. But I literally read and absorb all of them. I'm so impressed with you guys. I love what you have to say. We have such an intelligent, sophisticated audience of real, true, diehard, loving, patriotic, faithful, hardworking Americans in our community. I love you guys. I love hearing your thoughts. And by the way, I have no problem even when you oppose my ideas or you disagree with me, because I'm not one of these people who's like, no, you either agree with me or you're out. Again, America is a meritocracy. The best idea wins. It's not my idea. I don't care whose idea. The best idea wins. The best person for the job gets the job, period. Merit. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what sexuality you are. I don't care what race, what religion you are. It doesn't matter. America is equal opportunity, not equal outcome. DEI didn't earn it. And then you've got Representative Crockett saying, no, that's just another word for racism. And then you got Joyless Reed, who's adopted Trump's hair, saying, oh, no, we know what you mean when you say DEI. That's basically you saying the N-word. I mean, what in the world is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? That's insanity. That's insanity. Makes no sense. Zero. Yes, Sassafras. Yes, Jenny Jen. So good to see you. Hey, Ivan Popovich. Ghetto Crockett. Captain Mike. Yes, it is Ghetto Crockett. Peter Ortiz in the house. So great to see you. So great to see you. I love this, Jamie. Jamie has a great comment here. Jamie says, okay, Yvonne, I'm sorry. Ask your question again. I apologize. I went off there for a while. Sorry. It happens. Jamie says, at his core, Donald Trump is just a construction guy that builds things, a regular guy of the people. Well said. Well said. Ghetto Crockett. Yeah, what's your question, Yvonne? I apologize. I must have missed it. Can you ask it again, please? I would love that. So yeah, we're going to have a lot more awesome things happening for you guys. We're going to have a lot more. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool, Jamie. That's awesome. Snuffleupagus. Yeah, exactly. I love it. Oh, trying to send a gift. Oh, okay. No problem. No worries. So we're going to have a lot more stuff going on with you guys. When I say you guys, I say members. We're going to do a lot more live stream giveaways. We're going to have a lot more fun hanging out together. We've got more stuff coming from Cash Money G. We've got a very potential televised Trump trial. If that ever makes it to court, that could happen in the very, very near future. And plus, just I love going live and hanging out with you guys and talking about what's happening in our country and getting our country back. Hey, if you want me to do more live streams because my whole thing is I'm here to serve you guys. So I'm a servant for you, the audience, you, Nez Nation. This is our community. And yes, I'm sort of the facilitator, if you will. But, sometimes I get these stupid comments like, what is this Nez Nation? Is this a cult? No. It's a community. It's just a community. It's just a way to say, hey, this is our community. And I love our community. It's just a way of identifying. Nothing else. There is no leader or no whatever. We're all in this together. We're all collaborators. Do you want me to go live? Look at this. I love it, Captain Mike. Do you guys want me to go live and cover more rallies, especially rallies by Trump? Oh, by the way, I'm going to go live during the debates. Hello. We're going to go live during that fiasco and watch Trump absolutely squash. Kind of sad because he's such a potato head. He's going to squash Tombstone Biden. Oh, I'm so happy you're here, Angie. I'm so happy you're here. Sassafras says, yes, more. Okay, cool. Chuck says, yes, more. I love it. Jenny says, yes. Okay, it's going to happen. I love it. Angie says, I mostly listen. I'm usually too busy. That's totally fine. I get that. I'm very busy too. I've been home all week because my sis needed a break. Oh, okay. I hope everything's okay. Yes, try and say hi as much as you can, but I never, ever, ever. One of the things I used to tell my class, when I was teaching at the university long while ago, is the kind of sort of saying in our classes, don't stress. There's no stress. You do the best you can. And I want to proffer that here in our Nez Nation community, in our awesome channel, which we just passed 220,000 subscribers. Wow. Insane. We're growing exponentially faster than any channel on the entire internet. And I owe it all to you guys. I never have any expectations. I don't expect you guys to leave a comment every time. I don't expect you guys I want you to leave a comment if you feel compelled to do that. I want you to be a part of this community if you feel compelled to be a part of this community. That's it. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do the best I can to serve you guys. But I don't expect anything in return. And anything in return is a total bonus. Like Joseph over here. Thank you, Joseph, for the $5 super sticker. You rock, Joseph. Thank you so, so much. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. I like this. Thank you so much, Angie. I appreciate you, Angie. That means a lot. Thank you so, so much. I love this comment from Mike. The more live shows, the more memberships we will get, and the more people who will get to vote for Trump. That's why I say, the whole reason I'm doing this is, again, A, I love it, of course, but B, I love my country so much. And it pains me to no end to watch these elitist scum, this elitist vermin, think they know better than Americans. What's good for Americans? Think they know better than the people. What's good for the people? You're wrong. You're wrong, Kami Kamala. You're wrong, pushing up daisies, Pelosi. You're wrong, Chuck, Ukraine, Schumer. You're wrong. You're all wrong. We know what's good for us. You tried to take him off the ballot? Oh, don't get me started. Don't even get me started. Hey, Chuck, thank you so much. Chuck with the $4.99 super sticker. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Chuck K in the house. Oh, thank you, Jenny Jen. That means the world to me. You guys rock. Yeah, I mean, I can't stand to see what's happening to our country. So, this is my way, and maybe you guys might not agree with this, but I think media is the greatest tool we have right now to increase awareness, spread influence, to just get people. I'm not like trying to convince anybody. I'm not in the persuading business. I'm not in the convincing business. All I want to do is just present to you the facts, present to you what's really going behind these messages, what's really happening in our country, so you can critically discern and come up with your own intelligent decision. That's literally it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not in the convincing business, because you know what? Anytime somebody tries to convince me, I'm usually like, come on, man, just leave me alone. Stop selling me. The best salesman doesn't sell a damn thing. The best salesman just communicates their truth. And if it resonates, fantastic. If it doesn't, and if you think somebody's manipulating you, they can only manipulating you if they're engaging in deceit. And we know what are you going to do with somebody who's full of deceit? I mean, it's awful. Just dismiss them. Okay, guys. Bernie says, do you think they'll pull a fast one? Yeah, okay, so this is a great question. Cifoletti. I hope I'm saying that right, because I love Italiano. Prego, bravo. Cifoletti. I love that name. It's probably Cifoletti. Is it Cifoletti or Cifoletti? Give me a 1 in the comments, Bernie, if it's Cifoletti. Give me a 2 if it's Cifoletti. This is a great question. I think, thank you, Joseph. I think that if I were them, I would be, this is DEFCON 2. This is DEFCON 2. You've got a guy who can barely talk, no matter how much drugs you stuff in him. You got a guy who can barely stand up. He falls upwards. I love when Trump says it. The guy falls upstairs. Not gonna happen. Not on my watch. God, I love him so much. It's a really good question. I think if I'm there, what was 2 again? I already forgot. Shiza. It's 2. So 2 was Cifolletti, right? Cifolletti. Okay. His question was, do you think that somebody's going to replace him, like Michelle? I don't know if it's going to be Michelle, but I think Newsom's a strong possibility. Newscum is a very strong possibility. If I'm the consortium, and you know what I mean by when I say consortium, the Obama, Clinton, Oprah consortium, basically the elitist scum. If I'm them, this is DEFCON 2. And I've got to be saying to myself, man, he's losing in every swing state. He cannot make one public appearance without there being viral clips of him acting a fool and making himself and the whole party look awful. Dementia does not get better with age. That is a scientific fact. Dementia he's not going to get better with age. He's not going to get better with time. There is no physical therapy for dementia. So he's just going to get worse and worse. If he got rid of his hubris, should do what's right for the country and do what LBJ did and not ask for another nomination to be the president of the United States, not accept the party's nomination. At the delegation at the convention, they could still swap him out. And I said this, I was wrong. I made a prediction that at the State of the Union, he was going to say, I have a big announcement to make. I'm bowing out. He didn't do that. Instead, he got hopped full of God knows what, Adderall, and he started yelling at the country. There's a really strong possibility that at the convention this summer could be a substitute. I don't know if it's going to be Michelle, but I wonder why everybody's so confident it's going to be Michelle because of just because of the namesake. I mean, you could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Michelle. I would think it's going to be somebody. It's definitely not going to be Kamala because her approval rating, if you can believe, well, actually, I can believe this, is actually worse. Her approval rating is actually worse than Tombstone Biden's. Tombstone Biden has the lowest approval rating in presidential U.S. history. It's like lower than 36%. Definitely not Hillary. No, Hillary already lost, so she'll lose again. Definitely won't be Hillary. Michelle is a strong possibility. I think Newscum is like top 1, top 2. Newscum or AOC? No, I'm kidding. God, that would be awful. Can you imagine? Oh my God. This country would turn into Puerto Rico overnight if it was AOC. But I do think that if I was them, because it's DEFCON 2, because it's DEFCON 2, Victoria Nuland, Fiorini is a great name. Because it's DEFCON 2, they're in panic mode, desperation mode. It could be Michelle. It could be very, very likely. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Newscomb. I really wouldn't be. Peter Ortiz. I think this is a great question. And then I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank you, Yvonne. Yvonne, you finally made it. $2 super sticker. Love you. Thank you, Yvonne. This is a great question. I do too. Jill. Absolutely. Who is your VP pick? I like Byron. I like Byron not just because of strategy and not because of demographic, but I like Byron because he's young. He's actually intelligent. He's able to speak up and defend the policies. He would demolish Kamala in a VP debate. And I think he's a really, really proud, great American. I really do. I like Byron a lot. I don't really like Tulsi. I love Vivek. I know this sounds awful.
I'm not trying to sound like, what's her name? This is not intended to be racist at all. Okay. But I think his name is an impediment. I think his name on the ticket is an issue. I just do. I really do. I think that nobody's saying that part, the quiet part out loud. He's brilliant. He is absolutely going to be in politics and be successful if he sticks around. I just don't think he's going to make it on this ticket just because of the name is so difficult to kind of place on there. This is about optics too. It's about branding. It's about PR. Whether we like it or not, there's a lot of PR and branding that go in it. And Vivek Ramaswamy, it doesn't have that kind of ring to it, that kind of branding. Even though I actually think he's probably the most qualified. I think Vivek is so smart, so intelligent. You can really tell he loves America. He loves the U.S. He knows a lot about U.S. history. He's very, very adept. But I just think Ramaswamy, it's too much. It's just too much. I like what you say there, Angie. Yeah, I agree. There's a part of me that it could be a little Trojan horse kind of vibe there too. I definitely don't think it should be Nikki Haley. No, she's awful. The Wicked Witch of the East. If I were going to narrow it down to two choices, I would say number one choice is Byron Donalds. Number two choice would probably be Tulsi. Yeah, Ann Coulter. That's what I was thinking of, Angie. Thank you. No, I definitely don't want to sound like Ann Coulter. I think what Ann Coulter said was pretty awful, to be honest. No Haley, no Vivek, or Vivek, whatever you're in. I think Byron's a great pick. I don't even think Sarah Huckabee is a terrible pick. I don't think Sarah Huckabee is even in the running, but I don't think she's a bad pick. Definitely not Kristi Noem after she said she was going to shoot dogs and she already shot dogs. I like Byron Donalds. I think Byron Donalds is the best choice. I think Vivek doesn't have a chance. He should, but maybe they're just not ready for him. Yeah, that's exactly what Ann Coulter said. I'm not even going to repeat what she said. It was pretty bad. I want to say right now how much I love you guys, how much I appreciate you guys, how much I think you guys are absolutely awesome. I have had an absolute blast hanging out with you guys. I have just had an absolute blast hanging out with you guys. And I'm going to keep bringing it. Stay tuned, subscribe, follow. If you haven't already, please, please, please do me a favor and just tap that thumbs up. It takes you less than a second. Just tap it. Tap the thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. If I don't see you before then, who knows? I might do a pop-up live, maybe Trump's rally in Michigan or Wisconsin or wherever he goes, Denver. I don't know. He might go to Madison Square Garden. Maybe I'll go live. But stay tuned because your boy Nez has you covered. And make sure you sign up for our free newsletter. It's free. Become a Nez Nation Insider. That is in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. Sign up for that. It's absolutely free. Okay. All you got to do is put your email in there, your best email, and boom, you're in. We don't spam. We don't share your email with any third party. That is not the Nez Nation way. But I love you guys. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you for being a part of getting America back. And I can't wait. I'm excited to see what happens. I have a really, really good feeling about November. I don't want to jinx it. I'm not going to say it, but I have a really, really good memory. And the last thing I'm going to say is probably the most important. All of our service members, all of our amazing military veterans, all of the amazing men and women who sacrificed their lives for our freedoms, I salute you. I salute your families, and I want you to know there would be no America without you, and you are not forgotten, and your sacrifice is a lasting, eternal imprint in the fabric of who we are as a nation. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless you. and may God bless America. I'll see you.